PSG have gone ahead to confirm their interest in United's forward Marcus Rashford, who is tearing up the World Cup. 4 games, 3 goals scored. That is Marcus Rashford down at the World Cup with that fantastic free kick that he scored against Wales. Then David De Gea looks like his time at Manchester United is coming to an end, as United are eyeing in for Sommer, the goalkeeper of Switzerland who plays in Bundesliga, 33 years of age. And lastly, we are going to talk about Dean Henderson rejecting a return to Manchester United. But even if he rejects it, does he think that Erik ten Hag sees a goalkeeper in him? That's all what you're going to discuss into this episode of the Manchester Transfer News. Welcome to United Matters channel. How are you guys, and where are you watching us from? It's dark in some countries, that means it's night. Other sides it's really evening, others it's morning. And thank you for watching in this channel. Rokan David is my name. Second video of the day is coming in through, and obviously we are here to let you know that this channel is 100% running, and obviously we are bringing you content of Manchester United. And obviously today, you know what's taking place in Qatar. It's the quarter-finals, first phase of 2 games to be played. Argentina is going to be playing Netherlands, and Brazil is going to be playing Croatia, meaning that Tarell Malacia for Manchester United is going to be representing for Netherlands. Lisandro Martinez, a United player, is going to be representing for Argentina. Casemiro, Anthony and Freddy are going to be representing for Brazil, because in the Croatian national team there is no player that plays for Manchester United. So let's wait and see how that's going to happen. And obviously whoever is knocked out, United will be benefiting, because that player will be going out to get some rest and join the club next week. Not so. That's it. Now let's get into this story that the president or the owner of PSG has come out and hinted about signing Marcus Rashford. Remember, in the summer, the brother of Marcus Rashford, who happens to be his agent, traveled to France in Paris and talked to PSG. They are discussing a possible deal of Marcus Rashford to PSG. Do you know why? Kylian Mbappe had told them that you have to go out and sign a #1 striker that can come in and bang in goals for my team. When they failed to get Rashford, they went in for Ekitike, who was being linked to Newcastle, but they hijacked that deal and obviously signed the 19-year-old French international. Now, the president of PSG has come out and said the following, that on signing Marcus Rashford, he said, maybe summer, why not? But today, if he's a free agent, we can talk to him directly, but we are not going to talk to him now. Let him focus on the World Cup, and after, hopefully in January, we will talk to him. Meaning that there is interest for him at PSG. But I believe Marcus Rashford likes Manchester United. I think there was desperation. He never believed that he could get himself back and find his form back at Manchester United under Erik ten Hag, according to what was being said about Erik ten Hag. The presence of Jadon Sancho and Anton Martial sent Marcus Rashford into a lot of fear because of the style of play of Erik ten Hag and him entertaining players that are technically gifted like Jadon Sancho and Anton Martial. That had put his position into a very bad state, and maybe he thought he needed to run and find a new club. That's why his brother went into PSG and really tried to look for a suitor for Marcus Rashford. And I think Marcus Rashford was afraid, but Erik ten Hag turned things around for Marcus Rashford, and Rashford is now happy. He's the top scorer of Manchester United this season with 8 goals, and I believe with some 3 or 4 assists this season. 12 goal involvements for Rashford, and I believe he's going to hit 20 goals a season for United in the remaining games we are going to play in this season. Now, Rashford Marcus is a player that came to fame when he scored in the UEFA Europa League and then hit a brace against Arsenal and then scored one against Man City under Louis van Gaal when Martial and Memphis Depay and Van Persie were all injured at that time of the season of 2015 2016. Now, I believe the president would love Marcus Rashford, but ask yourself, if you're Marcus Rashford, is it the right decision to make to leave Manchester United that plays in the Premier League, the best league in the world, that is attracting all of world stars, to go and play in what we call, how do they call it? A village, is it called a village league? That's how people call it, because it's PSG, the alpha and omega in that side. They've bought all the superstars from the French League One teams and put them in their team. And secondly, you can't go to a club where the player you are really being compared to, Kylian Mbappe, is trying to leave and find greener pastures elsewhere. That is a communication to Marcus Rashford that if he wants to stay relevant in the game of football, he cannot go to that club, because the factors that we are threatening him to leave Manchester United and go to the other team are no longer valid. They've been crushed by Erik ten Hag. Rashford is up and running, banging in goals. And why is it talk so much relevant? Rashford is left with close to 6 months on his contract and 1 year to trigger. Now, United are really planning to give this guy a new contract. I did a story like, is it a week back, that Erik ten Hag is going to have to approve a contract of Marcus Rashford, because it was reported he's going to use the World Cup break to assess contracts of players that needs to be renewed. One of those players is Marcus Rashford, and Ten Hag is so much impressed in this player. So Rashford is not going to PSG according to me, and is not going to leave Manchester United. But the president continued and said, that is the president of PSG, that he is another player who is amazing, and for free, to have Rashford for free, every club will run after him. I think he was being asked about what what they would do if at all Rashford doesn't renew his contract at Manchester United. Born in Manchester United, grown supporter of United, I believe Rashford is here to stay. He's going nowhere. He's going nowhere. I'm not afraid, not even for a second, that Rashford is leaving Manchester United, because you can't convince me that this boy is leaving United, as he has hit the ground running. But to me, I believe if this story is out and the president himself is saying it, then it kills off all the news that was saying that Rashford is trying to plan out something to see to it that United gets him a lot of money. I don't think that the president of PSG can go ahead and really connive with Rashford to see to it that they really get United pays him the money that he wants, because Rashford might be calling in for a contract that is not less than £300,000 a week. But is United willing to offer him a contract like that? I believe it's really going to be, because even Rio Ferdinand came out and told Rashford that according to how you are performing, you should go in and call for a very hefty contract at Manchester United, close to £400,000 a week. That's it. And I believe the negotiations are going to be in between 300 and 400,000 pounds a week, because Rashford knows that Sancho is earning 350,000 pounds a week, yet he's on and off. Rafael Varane is earning 330, Casemiro is earning 370, and none of those that I've mentioned is a centre forward. David De Gea is earning 375,000 pounds a week. All that is money that is being blown into the defensive departments, meaning in the world of football, the best paid players are centre forwards. What does that echo into your ears? Obviously, it's simple that Marcus Rashford is going to go out and call for a very, very ridiculous weekly wage at Manchester United, of which United will be willing to offer, because he replicates a lot from Manchester United. He's coming in from the academy. He's a United player. He's English. That means he ticks all the boxes of being the star face of Manchester United. And obviously, that is what he's going to do. But I don't believe he's going to go. He's going nowhere on a free. Things that we are scaring him have been put into a better position by Erik ten Hag. But that confirms the rumors that really came in through that his brother made PSG, meaning that PSG were willing to sign Marcus Rashford. And I know why they're willing to sign him, because he has he has gotten a win against them twice at their stadium. You remember that penalty he took when we beat them 3-1 in Paris, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was still the manager. Then we went back with him again, and he scored the winner after that penalty of Bruno that put us ahead. Martial scored in his own net, and obviously Rashford went ahead to pull the trigger into the 9 minutes and we won the game by 2-1. But memorably, it was all about Tuanzebe pocketing Kylian Mbappe. If I don't remember that very well, then that's what really happened down at the side which goes by the names of Paris. That's it. So let's leave that story of Marcus Rashford and let's get into the story of Yann Sommer. Sommer is a player that is 33 years of age, Swiss. He plays in Germany, and Rob Dawson, a United correspondent, has really gone ahead to tell us the following on Sommer: that Manchester United are working on a deal to sign Switzerland goalkeeper, that is Yann Sommer, on a free transfer next summer, sources have told ESPN. Now, ESPN is reporting, and obviously it's Rob Dawson. Then he has gone ahead to let us know that that's Rob Dawson, that Ten Hag is looking to refresh the goalkeeping department ahead of next season. Martin Dubravka, signed on loan in the summer window, is expected to return back to Newcastle. So Ten Hag looks like he wants another goalkeeper to come in and see whether he can come in and really get it done with David De Gea. Now, I don't believe that this story has been put out to disrespect David De Gea, but United are not convinced with Dubravka to come in and deputize David De Gea. Maybe Ten Hag wants to bring in Sommer to come in and fight for that position with David De Gea, because he feels like this lad is not pushing, David De Gea enough to find himself at a level of getting to the levels quickly where Ten Hag really wants him through. I believe Ten Hag wants to create stiff competition in between his goalkeepers like he did at Ajax. I think he had Skeltenberg and Onana, and he used to go on and rotate them in different games, but that helped Onana to rise to the occasion, and obviously he's now playing at Inter Milan. Competition in other places, like you see in the central defense, Harry Maguire, Lisandro Martinez, Lindelof, and Rafael Varane competing for two positions in the central defense, helps the team to get more and more success. Tyrell Malacia versus Luke Shaw, Casemiro versus Scott McTominay, Freddie versus Eriksson, Danny Van Beek versus Bruno, Rashford versus Alejandro Garnacho and Sancho. You get Anthony and Rush and Martial are the only ones that have not gotten there, have gotten themselves real competitors in that Manchester United side, but almost every player is really getting stiff competition. And how does competition help the club? Every time the player steps on the field of play, he will be playing to see to it that he gets he convinces the manager to see to it that the other player on the bench doesn't get in. And that's what he did. He really wants to see in his goalkeeping department. Yann Sommer is a good goalkeeper, good shot stopper, good distributor of the ball, but on any day I'll go with David De Gea over Yann Sommer. But Yann Sommer brings in a lot of competition than Dubravka, because we saw even in the UEFA Europa League games, Ten Hag couldn't risk to get Dubravka in goal ahead of any of those games. All those 6 games that we are into the group stages were seen by David De Gea in the goal of Manchester United, meaning that Ten Hag is not so much impressive or so much impressed about Dubravka, and he believes he's going to go back to Newcastle, and I believe this is really going to happen this way. Then we've gone ahead to be told that David De Gea has been first choice goalkeeper under Ten Hag this season, but sources have told ESPN that United are yet to open talks over a new contract. Now, this drives me to, why is Yann Sommer so much in the news? One, David De Gea's contract is running down in the summer, and he wants to stay at Manchester United. He came out and spoke it by himself that he wants to stay at the club. Now, that has put United into a very good situation to negotiate a deal of De Gea to start Manchester United. Remember, De Gea, I think, is the highest paid goalkeeper in the world. He earns £375,000 a week. He was the highest player at Manchester United before Ronaldo came in through, and now that Ronaldo has left, he's the highest paid player at Manchester United. What does that mean? United might be using Yann Sommer to see to it that David De Gea cuts off his salary, and I believe he cannot be at that level of £370,000 a week, because there are very many goalkeepers that Ten Hag is looking at that can get the job done without having David De Gea's contract renewed. Yann Sommer is going to be up for free next summer, and it's good that United are scouting players for next summer. That's what a competent team is doing. So the coming in of Yann Sommer, and he's going to be a free agent, puts David De Gea in a situation of agreeing what United is going to put on his table. Obviously, I believe he might get a reduction of close to 120 or 30,000 pounds a week to go ahead and earn 250,000 pounds a week or 200,000 pounds a week. And I believe Ten Hag should be in control of these wages, because he has to tell the board that we shouldn't be spending a lot of money. When you look at Man City, it doesn't pay players like we pay them. When you look at the only two players that are really earning 300,000+ pounds a week at Man City, it's Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne, of which you see to it that they deserve that amount of money. But when you look at United, Rafael Varane has just hit the ground running this season, but last season never looked like a player who earns 330,000 pounds a week. Sancho, ridiculous amount of money given to him, 350,000 pounds a week. So it shows you how ridiculous United is at multiplying this salary these players have been receiving at their previous clubs, and they bring them at the club. So that might be affecting us to the level that we are right now, but Ten Hag wants to bring in Yann Sommer to do the need. But I believe that David De Gea is going to be given a new contract. I believe he's a world player. Secondly, he's one of the celebrated goalkeepers at Manchester United. He has been here since 2011 when Edwin van der Sar left, and he has been really good for the club. He wanted to leave in 2014, and obviously United delayed everything paperwork, and he stayed, and that called for him being granted that contract. By the time they handed him that contract, it was really okay. He was the best player of the club, because he used to save us game in, game out. But right now, I believe, however much he's pulling out those saves, but the ball doesn't really reach to him a lot onto him. Talk about Yann Sommer. I've had my several pundits coming out and say, all YouTubers say that he's 33 years of age and David De Gea is like 30, 31. Then why do you bring a goalkeeper that is the same age of David De Gea to replace him? I believe Yann Sommer is not a replacement of David De Gea. And even if he is, history repeats itself. And this history was so good for the club. Remember when United had the likes of Fabian Barthez, Carroll, the other goalkeeper was Fido, Tim Howard. We are really horrible in goalkeeping. And guess who solved that equation of goalkeeping? It was Edwin van der Sar when Sir Alex Ferguson signed him from Fulham in 2005 at the age of 35. He was at United for 6 seasons and he left the club, I think, in 2011. That is Edwin van der Sar. So he was there for 6 years. He left at 41 years of age, but he collected us trophies. He played 3 Champions League finals. He won 1. And obviously it was because of his penalty that he saved against Nikola Anelka that we won it against Chelsea. We won close to 5 or 6 Premier League titles during that era. I remember we won in 2006, 2007, 2008 we won, 2009, I think 2010, that's when we won. Then I think Man City came in through and they really won. Sir Alex Ferguson went ahead to win another one in 2013. That's when he resigned. So I believe he won us lots of trophies. But his age was not the matter because he was a ball-playing goalkeeper. He saved us in very many games. And obviously, Sir Alex Ferguson was relieved into the goalkeeping department. This departure is the one that really led to the arrival of David De Gea, a person that we're talking about right about now. But I believe David De Gea is really a very good goalkeeper, and I believe he's going to stay at the club, but he is not going to be earning that amount of money. He's going to take a pay cut to start Manchester United. I believe he's going to do it because United is back at where it's supposed to be, with Erik ten Hag doing the needful for the club of Manchester United. Now, lastly, let's talk about the goalkeeper. Who really believes that it's supposed to be at Manchester United, and the Manchester United number 1 goalkeeper, that is Dean Henderson. Dean Henderson came out and really said lots of things, that he wouldn't wait for Erik ten Hag to look at him because he knew that he would have kept him, yet he wanted playing time. And he said all that targeting the World Cup because he knew that if at all he was a goalkeeper getting regular football, he would have gotten what we call a call-up at the English national team to go to the World Cup. But obviously, they took Bishop, they took Ramsdale, and Pickford. He was left behind. So, we are being told by Grammy Bailey, he's a transfer correspondent for 90-minute football, that Dean Henderson does not want to return to the Manchester United. Even after his loan spell, though, United are hopeful his spell at Nottingham will help them generate interest from potential buyers. I believe the best thing to do is to sell Dean Henderson, because I don't believe Ten Hag has him in the equation. He doesn't have him in the equation. He doesn't have him in the equation. And managers like Ten Hag, if at all you're sure that you don't want to play for the club, will say, all right, let him go. But the good thing is that he's having a very good spell at Nottingham, and that will help United to gather some good amount of money, like £30 million from him, because he had just renewed his contract at Manchester United, and he's left with some good years at his contract with Manchester United, close to 2 or 3 years. And I think United have to cash in for him to see to it that he leaves the club. And maybe in the summer, United might use his money to go on and really bring in other good players. So what do you think about Dean Henderson? Doesn't want to return to Manchester United. I believe no one wants him back at the club. So I think his time at Manchester United is over, and Ten Hag is looking in for Yann Sommer. What do you think about Yann Sommer to come in to battle it with David De Gea? Thirdly, do you think the coming in of Yann Sommer will provide an exit door to David De Gea, whose contract is running down at the club? Then lastly, do you think United, or Marcus Rashford, will go to PSG, because PSG has come out and indicated their interest in Marcus Rashford, and Rashford is really looking to put pen to paper on his new contract that Ten Hag has gone ahead to approve at the club. Thank you guys for watching again. Rokan David is my name. I think this is the last video we're doing. I don't want to really go ahead and really put in more content here for you, but there is a very huge story, and this is the reason as to why the Glazers want to go out and sell the club of Manchester United. It's bad for them because they couldn't raise the dividends supposed to pay for the loan. They only paid £7 million. Losses are like losses. And what is it right about now, apart from United being in a very horrible situation, all that caused by what we call all that caused by what we call all that caused by what we call the expenditure they made in the summer, and obviously that's why they're into what we call hot soup. So let's wait and see what's going to happen, but your reactions are highly welcome into the comment section below. I sign out for now. See you later. May the Almighty Lord bless you abundantly, and I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Rokan David is my name. I'm out. Bye-bye.